Reverend Charles Kwaku-Odi, and so obviously a faith minister, but also involved in a number of organizations, and more recently, the Chief Officer for the Caribbean and African Health Network, Greater Manchester. I am originally from Ghana. My first visit to the UK was in 2001 on a summer holiday, and then went back to uni to finish my maths degree, and then decided to travel back to the UK to further my education. So I arrived in July 2002, to start a master's program at the University of Manchester, and did that for a year, and then went on to do another master's at University of Salford, in business management, and then ended up, proceeding to start a doctorate. And then I had to put that on hold because of financial, circumstances. So that's a bit about my journey traveling over, and then ended up getting married, have 3 children, and I've stayed since then. I originally moved to Stockport in 2010 and lived in the Artswood area for about 6 months, and then from there moved to Reddish. And in the early days, while I was living in Artswood, wanted to really get involved in the voluntary sector within Stockport. And I remember meeting you back then about, having some conversations and events, around race equality and making sure we celebrate Black History Month. I think with the experience from Manchester, Stockport was slightly different. Back then we didn't have lots of Black people or BAME people, so to say. And living in Artswood, there were pockets of Black people living in there, but the BAME sector back then wasn't vibrant. So it was just a few people trying to bring about change, and not many Black-led organizations then. I mean, obviously at that time AECO was around, but not many Black-led organizations back then, and the community was very small and quite fragmented. When I started my doctorate, and I had to travel down to London once a week, on a Wednesday for lectures, and then drive back. And, it was going well, but by the end of the first year, I realized that, I'd just been studying, no relevant work experience, no jobs coming up. And someone did advise me to consider volunteering. So I did apply to a refugee organization and then the British Red Cross, and the British Red Cross responded, to say they had a volunteering role within their community services. And I remember, having to work with 3 older people. The youngest was, about 80, in a center in Swinton, giving out wheelchairs and other independent living aids. And, that was my first volunteering experience. In 2008, towards the latter part, because I was part of managing the office, at the British Red Cross, building. There was a Muslim lady who was part of the Faith Network for Manchester, and they needed a place to meet. And so I stayed behind, saw that people from different faiths, came together, held their meeting, and that was how I got involved with interfaith work. Mm-hmm. So when I left the British Red Cross, I ended up, doing some project admin for the Faith Network for Manchester, and that was how all the life outside the British Red Cross in the voluntary sector, came about, joining the Faith Network, going along to meetings, we're running projects, and ended up becoming their admin, administrator, and, just trying to get on with the projects they were funded to do. And then going into different spaces, advocating for, people of different faiths and none. And that was how come, other opportunities, sprang off that.